going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. It's a Monday, and I'm just driving home from work. I run my own business. I've been since 2022-ish. Always worked for somebody else before. Will never do it again. I will never depend on someone else for employment, meaning I will not be an employee ever again. It's not easy to grow a business, but it's definitely worth it. I have 2 little kids, wife, but because of the business, we actually can afford to have my wife stay at home. She's taking care of the kids, young kids. She doesn't have to work. She can work if she wants to, but she doesn't have to. And we're kind of comfortable, we have to say. So that's a very big positive of working for yourself and having your own business. It's there's nothing better than a mother being with the kids and raising the children, especially if she wants to do that. Nothing better than it's the best. You can't have it be better where a stranger is raising your kids or teaching them their own values or whatever you might want to talk about. But the best possible thing is when the mother is with her kids as much as she possibly can be. Of course, it's stressful for her sometimes, and she gets overwhelmed sometimes, and sometimes frustrated and tired and all that kind of stuff. Of course, whatever you do, if you do it all the time, it wears you down. If it's kids, if it's running your own business, the same thing. So we both have our roles. But once I'm home, of course, I work at home as well. I have a couple different side things that I do, but my main income is my business. When I'm home, I always try to help out as much as I can, but working and making an income, even when I'm in the house, is the priority. And that's what allows my wife to be home, not have to worry about anything, never have to worry about not having enough money for bills or having to pay something or whatever. Everything is paid. She never has to worry about that. If she needs something bought, then she buys it. Money's always there. So that's, I think, the best way to live today, but it's not easy because everything is a lot more expensive than it used to be. Rent, housing, food, gas, whatever. Especially if you live in some of these states like California, New York, your living costs are insanely high. But, I think it has a lot to do also with the politics in those states as well. Because the states that are most expensive to live in, sorry to say, but they're usually Democrat states. And you can, say whatever you want, and agree with me or disagree with me, but it usually is like that. It's no coincidence that a lot of people are moving out of New York, out of California, to states like South Carolina, to states like Tennessee, to states like Texas, because it's so much more affordable to live there and raise a family and buy a house and all that other stuff. You take Tennessee, you take Texas, for example, no state income tax. That alone leaves a couple $1,000s in your pocket. That alone. And then in those states, gas is cheaper, rent is cheaper, all that stuff. So, but you still have to kind of, get an income. And if you're making a certain amount of money in New York or a certain amount of money in California, that doesn't mean you're going to be making the same amount of money in Tennessee or Texas or South Carolina or wherever. But you have to understand one thing. That's why I'm saying I will never work for someone else, because working for myself I set the prices, I set the quality, I set the time, and I just have to find the right clients for the service that I provide. That's pretty much that. Other than that, it's the most, something, running a business, like I said, it's stressful. Growing one is stressful because it took me, I want to say, about 2 years to actually grow it enough where we had enough income and we didn't have to worry about bills being covered and stuff like that. So it took a while of hard work and frustration and stress and all that. But since then, yes, I'm still stressed sometimes. I work hard because it's my business and I, answer for the quality of the service that I provide. But I can provide a lot more for my family. I can provide a lot more for my children. And most of the time, I'm much less stressed in life in general, working for myself, than I ever was working for somebody else. Because working for somebody else, you always get these thoughts like, you're making money and whatever you paid per hour, and it's never enough, and you know that your employer is getting richer, and you see them having a comfortable lifestyle, but you're always, or most of the time, living paycheck to paycheck, and that's just not a life I want to live, especially when I'm raising children and we have 2 kids, because it gives you a lot of stress that then gets transferred onto the family, onto the wife, onto the children. And you're just frustrated because you always feel unappreciated. But if you work for yourself, you create a business, you build it, and it starts to be successful, you feel validated, you feel strong, you feel like you achieved something, you feel good about yourself. But a lot of people are shying away from trying to start their own business because they've been told so many times that most businesses fail. Yes, but it's not due to the business being the wrong business. It's due to the person that's starting the business not having the work ethic and the fire under their ass, you could say, to run that business, to work on it. Because I'll tell you this, if people are looking to have a work-life balance, especially in the first couple years, running a business is not for you. Running a business is not for you. Having passive income after work and side gigs for yourself and do whatever, making side money or have side businesses that you have to work on in the house after your main work is done for the day. If you want a work-life balance, this is not for you. And if you want work-life balance, then you're never going to be as successful and be able to achieve things you want to achieve and be able to afford things you want to afford and be able to give your children as comfortable life as most of us want to give our children. You're not going to be able to do that most of the time working for someone else. Of course, there are jobs that you're working for someone else and you're making 150, 200, 250 or 1,000 or more per year, and you can have a comfortable lifestyle. But even that, a lot of people don't take into consideration that working for someone and being an employee, you pay taxes on a regular basis, which are 25%, 30% on your money gets taxed and automatically taken away. When you run a business, you can take that money, reinvest it into your business so your business grows, and it's counted as a deduction on your taxes, so you actually pay less taxes at the end of the year. Meanwhile, you're reinvesting into your business and you're growing it. So a lot of people don't take that into consideration, but most people want a work-life balance. They want to go home and watch some Netflix. They want to go home and, binge a couple shows or go out to the club or go out to a bar or spend time with their friends every day or whatever. Listen, if you want to have that kind of a lifestyle, go ahead. I've had that lifestyle. It's not for me. And I know that it would never get me to a level of life. I would never be able to afford to allow my wife to stay home if she wanted to and raise the kids. I would never be able to do that working a regular job. Never. It's impossible in this day and age. And so many people now, I see posting their videos and talking about, you know, they got let go from their job and they're looking for a job and they're applying to companies and they're putting in applications and resumes and to 50 jobs, to 100 jobs sometimes. They don't get any answers or nobody's hiring. If you have a lot of experience in a certain field, why not start your own business in that field? You don't have to start a business where you have to put a lot of money into it. You can become a consultant. You can do a lot of different things. There's a lot of options, guys. You can make money online these days. So, you know, you can work a job if you want to work a job, but then you can come home and do something where you make money online. You can make money on YouTube. You can make money on TikTok these days. You can make money pretty much everywhere. But people just, they don't want to put the time in and the work in and learn how to do things because they want to go to a bar or binge some shows every single day. You can do that. Set up a one night a day where you just do whatever you want, binging shows, playing video games, whatever. Or even two, Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, and spend the rest of the days just working on a business or working on a side hustle or an online business or whatever. You'll be glad you did. After a while, if you really put hard work into it, it will succeed. There's no way it'll fail. If you keep working on it, keep learning, keep finding out what works and what doesn't. I mean, I don't see somebody failing in a business if they really do what they're supposed to do. So those are kind of my thoughts for today, which I wanted to share with you guys. If it resonated with you or not, fine. Just thought, you know, I post some videos daily now. Just talking, sharing my ideas, sharing what's going on in my life. See, maybe some people will be interested in listening to me from time to time. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.